Hello, welcome to Pilates Matwork. And today we're just going to do a little bit more of a gentle practice and maybe what you've normally seen or practiced with me do. We don't need any props today for class unless you just know that you want to bring them in. But we're going to start standing today. And we're just going to kind of just loosen up a little bit here. At the time of this recording, it's winter. It's really cold outside. We got snow. And sometimes we get a little stiff. So we'll just kind of warm up a little bit here before we get into our deeper work. So I'm going to find my nice standing alignment here. So my hips, knees, and toes are going to face forward. I'm standing into all four corners of the feet. So I'm pressing in big toe mounds, pinky toe mounds on both sides of the heels. My knees are soft and non-locked. So then that allows my tailbone to also be soft. I'm zipping up from pubic bone to behind the navel, belly button into the spine. Think about, if you're not sure what that means, drawing up your internal organs up and in. Another way to look at it, but not real pretty, is you're trying to stop yourself from going in your pants, if that's a better visual for you. Good. And we'll relax the shoulders. Think about ears, shoulders, hips, and ankles. So this is what it looks like from the front. This is what it might look like a little bit better too from the side view. Good. And then from here, keeping that engagement. As you inhale, could you expand the rib cage? So your rib cage will go out to the side. And then exhale, purse through the lips. Shh. When you purse through the lips, can you engage your abdominals just a little bit deeper? We'll try a few more rounds of that. So big inhale and expand. Exhale. Shh. Inhale. Exhale. Shh. Good. So from here, I'm going to keep my knees soft, and I'm just going to kind of let the chin fall here. I'm just going to let the arms do what they do. I'm keeping a bend in the knees. I'm just going to kind of sway a little bit from side to side. Good. And then we'll take that into a little bit of a vitality wheel. So I'm just going to start by coming over towards my left. And then I'm going to come up here and pressing into both feet. And I'm just going to kind of roll. And I'm just going to take that right into the other side. Good. And then we'll do another little round here in this direction. Careful if you get dizzy, so you don't want to move too fast. Good. Now I'm going to reverse. Now I'm going to go over to the right. I'm just going to come up here, moving through, bending those knees as you come down, and coming up. Good. Just get a nice little circle motion here with the arms. You can do a little squat, a little pulse here. Good. My heels are staying grounded for now. Good. Let's reverse that. So going in the opposite direction, kind of think of it as swimming. Good. And then from here, good, I'm just going to show you the squats. I'm going to take my feet a little wider than hip width apart, hips, knees, and toes, and still are going to face forward. I'm going to sit back here. I'm going to get into the heel. I'm going to get into the glute. Arms can be anywhere you like them to be. I'm just going to keep mine forward here. Good. So we're just warming up a little bit. Good. You can sway if you want a little bit more movement. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll come all the way up to standing. Good. Take a leg, and we're just going to kind of take a little circle, and we're just going to kind of move out to the side. Good. And if you need to hold on to a steady piece of furniture or a wall, always okay. Good. Let's reverse that. So we went this way before. Now we're going to start, and we're going to come in the center. A little bit harder than going out to the side. Good. And do that with a smile. And then from here, when you're ready, good. We should be just a little bit looser here. Let's work on some roll downs, and we will slowly, gradually make our way to the mat. So from here, good. I'm just going to come to the back of my mat just so that I have room. I'm going to let the shoulders relax. I'm going to come to that nice, even tall standing here. Zipping up. I'm going to nod the chin. Good. And you'll probably keep a little bend in the knees. And as I roll down here, I'm thinking about peeling down one vertebrae at a time. My belly button is in. So I'm just going to let my arms just do what they do. Good. Come to your limit, which may not be the floor. Pressing evenly to the feet. Really press down into your mat. Get into the glutes, and then starting from the tailbone, we're just going to press and come back up to standing. Good. Shoulders and chin and head are last to come up. We'll take that again. Big inhale. Exhale. Let the chin drop. Peeling down one vertebrae at a time. Belly buttons in. Stay with that breath. Good. When you're ready, pressing evenly into the feet, down into that mat, starting from the tailbone, and rolling it all the way back up. Good. Shoulders and chin and head are last to come up here. Notice how you feel. We're going to take a roll down. We're going to come into all four. So as we're zipping up, belly button is in. Big inhale. Exhale. Nodding the chin. And rolling it down. Notice how I'm not locking out my knees here. I'm trying not to shift my hips back far behind my ankles. And once you get to your limit, we're just going to walk that forward here. And we're going to come down to the knees. Good. Take any little knee cushion here that you need to make yourself comfortable. Same thing for the wrist. So if you need cushion under there to kind of lift the hand up a little bit here so you're not in super hyperextension, always take care of yourself. This series here can also be done on forearms. Belly button is in. Inhale, shine the heart forward, tip the pelvis back. Exhale and roll around. Good. There's some nice cat-cow movements. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, we're going to come back to that neutral table. We're going to take this into a tail wag here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right knee just a little bit behind me. So as you notice, it's not right in line with my left leg. I'm going to bend that knee. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here, when I let that right foot go over to the right, I'm going to look over my right shoulder at it. And then I'm going to let that foot cross over to the left. And then I'm going to look at it over to the left. So I'm going right and left. Squeeze those obliques. Think about the low rib cage and the top of the hip bone trying to touch each other. And left and right and left and right. Let's one more. And left and right. Good. I'm going to take my hands just a little bit more forward here. I'm going to let those right toes come down. I'm going to pick up that leg. I'm going to push back here, just allowing a nice stretch. Let that right hip drop slightly, a little bend in the elbows. Belly button is in. And then we'll come back up. We're going to take that onto the other side now. Good. So from here, I'm going to take my left knee just a little bit behind. Good. I'm bending that knee. Good. Now I'm going to look over to the left. I'm looking to the left at my left foot. Good. Left leg's going to cross the center of the body to the left. And I'm going to look at it to the right and to the left and to the right and to the left and to the right and to the left and to the right. One more time through. To the left and to the right. I'm going to take that knee and foot down, toes down, pressing back through that heel. Strong, even upper body, letting left hip drop slightly. Breathe and expand. Now, even though you're stretching that back leg, you're also building strength in the top, the front body here to keep you from collapsing down. Good. All right. We are going to make our way down onto our backs from here. I'm just going to turn this way. So once you come onto your back, good. Think about your feet, knees and hips are in this nice alignment. I'm going to roll my shoulders back just a little bit here. My arms are down to the side. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go into some little pelvic tilts, and then we're going to start and move a little bit deeper here. So find your safe neutral. So from here, your tailbone should be heavy and connected. You should feel the natural curvature of the low back. So low back is not jammed into your mat. Low rib cage is heavy and connected, staying wide to the collarbone. And you're zipping everything up and in here. All right. From here, I'm just going to let my hips rock forward. So you're going to have a little bit more of an arch in the low back. That's your anterior tilt. And then I'm going to let that rock backwards here. So you're closing any gaps. That's your posterior tilt. Good. So we'll move forward anterior and back through posterior. It's sometimes nice to take your fingers on your hip bones and just kind of feel how they move. Good. So forward and back, anterior and posterior, belly buttons in tight. You should feel a tighter core connection when you go into that posterior tilt. And one more time, we're just warming up the low back here. Good. Coming back to your safe neutral. So if you were palpating your hip bones, we'll just take the arms to the side. Good. Now we're going to rock it back and come up into some hip lifts. So I'm just going to roll my shoulders back a little bit more here. Good. I want to think about staying in my feet. So even though I'm rocking back and I'm peeling up one vertebra at a time, I've got my weight equal in both feet. And you're only going to come up to your limit. So your body will let you know when you shouldn't come up any higher. And then starting from the mid back, we're just going to lower that back down. Good. Moving through the posterior, coming back into neutral. And we'll rock it back. We'll peel it up again. And lowering it down one vertebra at a time, like you're lowering a strand of beads. And moving back into neutral last time, and we're going to hold it up there, rocking it back, peeling it up. Good. So think about your pelvis being even. If this is where you need to stay or you need to come out of here, do so. Otherwise, we're going to do a little bit of butt work here. So I'm going to let my hips fall about halfway. I'm going to squeeze the glutes and lift. Halfway, squeeze and lift. Halfway, squeeze and lift. Halfway, squeeze and lift. Halfway, squeeze and lift. Two more. Halfway, squeeze and lift. Halfway, squeeze and lift. Woo, lift, lift, lift. And we'll lower that back down. When you come all the way down out of there, one knee at a time, take it into the chest. And we'll rock, rock, rock side to side. Good. Okay. We're going to take the feet back down here. Good. And we're going to go back into bridges. This time I'm going to give you an option for a little bit more challenge. So you can keep both feet grounded here. Those of you that want more challenge, we're going to do one leg. So I'm going to start by taking my right leg up here towards the ceiling. Good. And then I'm going to roll my shoulders back. Big inhale. Exhale, whatever bridge you're doing here, rock it back, peel it up and lift, and lower that back down. And we'll lift and press, and lower down. Lift and press, and lower down. Let's try one more. Lift and press, and lower down. Good. Bring that right foot down to the floor. The left foot's going to come up towards the ceiling, or both feet can stay on the ground whenever you're ready. Inhale, exhale. We're going to lift and press and lower down. Lift and press and lower down. Lift and press and lower down. Lift and press, lower down. Could we do one more? Woo. And bring that down. Foot's going to come to the floor. Bring knees back into the chest. Rock, 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 side to side. Okay, we're going to go into some abdominal curls here, or half roll-ups, however you want to call them. Different people call them different things. So I'm going to lean my knees bent, my feet are grounded. I'm going to take my arms up overhead. And while we're here, let's work on some protraction and retraction with the shoulders. So if I want to reach my fingers to the ceiling and I'm taking my shoulders out of the pocket, that's your protraction. If I want to take them a little bit deeper into my mat, letting them go way back into their pockets, it's a retraction. So protraction and retraction. And the way I remember it is like protraction, the word pro, I'm protruding something. So I'm making things grow out of me, if you will. And then retraction is just like that. You're taking it back. So protraction forward, retraction back. Good. Okay. We will just let everything kind of settle down in here. Palms are facing towards your feet. Zip up from pubic bone behind the navel. Belly button in. Big inhale and expand. Exhale, nod the chin. Could you see curve up? Take your gaze to your mid-thigh. Arms are long and low beside you. Inhale and lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale. Exhale and lift. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, exhale, C curve and lift, reach, reach, reach. Let's pause here. Good. Could you lift one leg? Good. Could you reach that leg? We're still in the pause. Bring that foot back in. We're still on that C curve. I know it's hard. Could you bend that other knee? Could you take that leg long? Could you bring that foot back down? Inhale, lift. Exhale, taking it down. Great work. Knees into the chest if you need to do that. Rock, rock, rock. We're going to go into the hundreds from here. So if it's been a while since you've done hundreds, I'll go through a few things. So if you're super beginner, keep your feet grounded. That's level 1. Level 1.5, knees are in the tabletop position. So knees are over hips, shins are parallel to the floor. Level 2, maybe, or 1 3/4, maybe legs are up to the ceiling. And then the more advanced you are, then you can take that diagonal line. The deeper you go, the harder it is, but not at the expense of neutral spine. So if your back is starting to pop up here or hurt you, then your legs are too low. So come back here, or come back here. Okay. For today, I'm going to demo in tabletop knees. So you find where you need. Arms are going to come up. Zip, zip, zip. Now, when we come up, we're going to stay up here. My gaze is at my thighs. My arms are long and low. Small and controlled movement with the arms. We'll inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. We'll do it 10 times. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift higher. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, reach deeper. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, hold. Lift higher, reach deeper if you can. Exhale, take that down. Knees into the chest. Rock, 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 side to side. Then gently take head and neck for side to side. So remember, as always, anytime we're working in C curve, neck gets tired, can't maintain good form, lower the upper body down. Don't stay there. All right. Yes, it is time for our series of 5. So we're going to do these slower, but we're going to start with single leg stretch. So knees are going to be in tabletop position. We're going to find C curve again. So big inhale to prepare. Exhale, take it up. I'm going to take my left leg long. I'm going to bring my right leg in. My left hand is on top of the right knee. My right hand is on the outside of that right ankle. And the purpose of that is to keep the knee in line with the shoulder. So I'm reaching. Now I'm switching. And I switch. And I switch. And I think this is 4. And 5. And 6. Take a break here. Keep going. Could you go for 7? Could you go for 8? Take a break. Go for 9. Or go for 10. Good. Bring that back in. Bring that back down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Single straight leg stretch. So my legs are going to come up towards the ceiling here. While we're here, let's just do some nice point and flex to the feet. A little bit of footwork. Good. And let's roll those ankles in one direction and then in the other. And we often neglect these very important but very tiny joints. So let's spread the toes wide a few times and then try to squeeze them together. So important for balance. We take them for granted. especially as we age. We want to keep those little joints supple. Okay, inhale, arms up. Exhale, this time I'm going to see curve up. I'm taking my hands as high as they can go on either the left calf or the thigh, wherever you can reach. My right leg is going to come to a hover. I'm going to pulse, pulse, switch, pulse, pulse, switch, pulse, pulse, switch, pulse, pulse, switch. Here's 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. Take a break or go for 7. 8. Take a break or go 9. And 10. Good. Bring it all in, bring it down, and we'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Gently take head and neck from side to side here. Good. Double leg stretch. I'm going to let my knees just stay bent right here. Taking my arms up, big inhale, exhale, see curving up, and I'm going to hug myself. So this is your exhale actually. So I'm going to inhale to prepare. Good, coming long. Exhale, coming back in. Inhale, exhale. And 3, I think. Good. And 4. And 5. Take your legs higher if it hurts your back. And 6. Take a break, or could you go for 7? Stay with the breath. Go for 8. Inhale. Inhale. Maybe one more. Whew. And we'll bring that back down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And gently take head and neck from side to side. All right. Double straight leg stretch. I'm going to keep my upper body lowered on this one. You can certainly do this one in a C curve if you're seeking more challenge. But we'll take our legs up towards the ceiling here. You can be in parallel, means toes, knees, and hips are facing your face. Or you can connect at the heels and have about a fist width apart between the big toes. So you're in that Pilates V position. And that'll be a little bit more challenging for inner thigh if that's where you want to work. Good. So again, only take the legs down so long as you can maintain neutral spine. Any funny business or popping up from the low back, don't take your legs as low. Shorten your range of motion. Taller people, this is going to be harder because you've got more lever here. So be mindful. Whenever you're ready, inhale, exhale. Good. I'm going to inhale on the down. I'm going to exhale on the up. Inhale, exhale. And 3. Shh. And 4. Shh. And 5. Shh. And 6. Shh. Take a break or go for 7. Shh. 8. Shh. Take a break or go for 9. Shh. And 10. Shh. Good. Bring in those knees. Rock, rock, rock. Going into the crisscross here, a couple different options I will offer you. So beginners, or those of you that just need something a little bit less intense, you're going to keep your knees grounded. You're only going to work the upper body. Hands come behind the head. You find yourself in a C curve. You're leading with the shoulder, not with the elbow. So your elbows are out wide and you're going to rotate. Hips also stay grounded and rotate. So that's a little bit more beginner. Those of you that are ready for more challenge, knees are going to come into the tabletop position. Good. And then your legs are going to do single leg stretch while your upper body rotates. So it looks like this and like this. Good. Join me when you're ready. Here's 1 and 2 and 3. Hips are grounded. 4. Rotation is in the torso. 5. Don't forget to breathe. 6. Take a break or go 7. Could you do 8? Could you do 9? Could you take that 10th one? Woo. And come down. We'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. Gently take head and neck from side to side. All right, let's give our abs just a little bit of a break, even though they're still working, and we're going to come into a stretchy. Let's go to a twist one, kind of our first twist. Take your arms up to the side. Knees are in tabletop position. We're going to take those knees over towards the left, trying to keep right shoulder grounded as we look to the right. Breathe and expand that rib cage. When you're ready, head will come back to center, one leg at a time, or use your abdominals to bring both legs back in the center. When you're ready, we'll take those knees over to the left, trying to keep left shoulder grounded, looking to the left. And while this is a bit of a torso abdominal stretch, you might also feel good stretchies in the armpit and the chest here. Also a good thing. Good, and then when you're ready, one leg at a time, or using your abdominals to bring both knees in. Good. I'm gonna bring down my left foot, and I'm gonna keep a bend in the knee. How deep that bend needs to be for you really depends on you. If you're okay in the back, you're a little bit more advanced and experienced, you can take that leg nice and long here, okay? I'm gonna take my hands, I'm gonna reach my right leg to the ceiling. I'm gonna take my hands behind. I'm gonna let them travel up as high as they can go. So I have a straighter leg here, but notice how my leg is not locked. I've got a micro bend in that knee. So here's a locked knee, here's a soft knee. You want a soft knee. Good. And you're just gonna bring it in to your limit. I'm also lengthening from crown to tail. My belly button is in, and I'm gonna use this opportunity to point and flex my foot again. Maybe an ankle circle a few times in one direction and then in the other. Good. Now, where you go from here, it depends on where you can reach. Some of you are going to keep your right hand on the shin or to the outside of that thigh. Some of you might be to the outside of that foot or taking yogi toe. Wherever you can reach is fine. Both hips, both shoulders will stay grounded, and we'll let that leg come out towards the right. If your left leg is long, if you're okay to do that, reach a little bit longer if you could through the left side. Breathe and expand. We're going to bring that leg back in here. Good. I'm going to release, and I'm going to let that leg come a little bit more in line to where my hip is. And we're going to go into some circles here. We're going to start small, and then we'll take a set of large ones. 6 to 8 will be our magic number here. So really engage through the core, really engage the abs, really zip up and zip in nice and tight. So your core should be feeling this. In addition to just things moving around in that socket. So I'm keeping it small. The smaller you go, the more control you'll have. But you should feel this in the abs right below the belly button if you're properly engaged here. Good. Let's reverse directions. We're keeping these on the smaller side for right now. Good. Now from here, we're going to go right into a large one so it can cross over the midline of the body. You can take it down as long as you can control the pelvis. So I'm a little bit restricted here by my wall, but if you don't have that restriction, you can go as wide as you're in control. Hips stay grounded. So if your opposite hip is popping up, you're taking your leg out too far. Let's reverse that direction. Good. So this is a sneaky way to do core and abdominal work, even though it looks like leg work. It's actually a little bit more core, less leg. Good. When you're ready, just bring that knee into the chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. We're going to take all of that to the other side. So now your right foot can come down to the floor, keeping a little bend in the knee, or you can extend that leg long and strong, depending on where you are. Good. I'm going to let my left leg come up here towards the ceiling. I'm going to take my hands behind that left leg. I'm going to let them travel up as high as they can go. So again, soft knee, not a locked knee. I'm going to gently bring it in towards the face. I'm going to point and flex my foot here. Good. And then maybe working around through that ankle again. Okay, same as the other side. Where you take your hand depends on where you can reach. So some of you might be here, you might be here, you might be on the outside of the foot, you might take that yogi toe, fingers around the toe. Both hips, both shoulders are going to stay grounded as you bring that leg out to the left now. Breathe and expand. If your right leg is long, could you reach a little bit more through that right side? Good, breathing, expanding that rib cage. And when you're ready, good, we'll bring that leg back up. Good, I'm gonna release my grip, let that leg come back more in line with the hip here. Small circles, both directions to start. Really engage, both hips stay grounded. And we'll just take about 6 to 8 in one direction. So remember, if your abs are properly engaged here, you should feel it right below the belly button. That gives you the control of the pelvis in this exercise. And then when you're ready, we'll reverse directions. Tighten up your circle, make it smaller if you need more control. Good, and then when you're ready, you can go right into the larger ones. You'll cross the midline of the body a little bit here. Hips will stay grounded. You're staying in that neutral pelvis. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll reverse directions. Good. And when you're ready, good. Just bring that knee into the chest, give it a nice squeeze. All right. We're going to roll like a ball here. If rolling like a ball is not your jam, roll over to your side. I'll give you another option here. But from here, actually, I'm going to do that first. So we'll all roll over to our side. Good. So if rolling like a ball you can't do, you got some disc issues, something like that, keep your knees bent. And you're going to keep a long spine. And you're just going to go here to your limit and come up. Okay. So this, you're still getting abs, which is the purpose of this. So those of us that are going to roll like a ball, bring your knees in as much as possible. If you want to be in a C curve, you can't roll like a ball if your back is flat. And you'll roll back and come back up. Good. Avoid rolling back on the neck. Use your breath. Exhale on the up, inhale on the back. Good. And we'll come back up. We're going to prepare for some half roll downs today. Now, I said half roll downs. If you are a big fan of the full roll down and the full roll up, go ahead and go there. If that's part of your practice, no worries. Everyone else will follow me. So I'm going to have my knees bent here. It is a little bit more challenging if your legs are long. So choose your challenge. I'm going to start by kind of holding on to my thighs here. I'm going to zip up. I'm coming nice and tall. Belly button is in. And I'm just going to roll back. I'm keeping my hands on my thighs. I'm going to go to my limit. Your limit is where you feel like your feet are going to come up off your mat. And then we're going to come all the way back up. And maybe fold in. And then just rolling into that next one. Now, if you're doing this with long legs, this is what you'll look like. Again, you're going to come back to your limit where you're in control. And you'll come all the way back up and roll all the way forward. And then just keep that movement. Try for about 5 or 6 or so. Even the half roll down and roll up can be challenging. It's all about getting into your connection. Belly button in. And working with that breath. Good. And then from here on your last one, I'm going to let myself roll all the way back. So if you need to bend the knees, hold on. You need to take hands to the floor. Be where you're supported. Good. I'm going to take my knees back into my chest. Good. And we are going to go to sideline. So I'm going to roll over onto my left side because that puts me in the direction of the camera. It doesn't really matter what side you roll over on first because we're going to do the same thing to both sides. But from here, good. You also have some options. So beginners, you might be down here with me today. Those of you that are a little bit stronger, a little bit more advanced, maybe you come up onto the forearm. Notice if this is your option, your shoulder is over or behind the elbow. We're not hanging in here. So you're nice and supported. You're pressing down and your torso is lifted. So we're not hanging here either. We're nice and lifted. So choose where you need to be. Make sure you're in good form. And make sure that you can be in a nice parallel stack. And so when I look down at my legs, they're in a nice parallel stack. I'm not kind of at an angle or anything like that. And that just helps you to remind you to keep your hips stacked so you're not back on the glute. Okay, so I'm going to take my top hand, which is my right hand on the floor. I'm going to reach long with that top leg. You can point the foot, but not so much that you get a foot cramp. Hip, knee, and toe are going to face forward, and we'll lift and lower and reach. And 2, think about squeezing here in the side. And 3. And 4. Belly button stays in, we don't let it go. And 5. And 6. Don't forget the breath. Inhale, exhale. 1 more. Good. From here, good. I'm going to bend my knee. I want my hip, knee, and ankle to be in this direction. I'm going to drive through the glute and drive through the heel. Think about a press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to change this up. I'm going to bend. I'm going to lengthen. Think about a bicycle. I'm taking it back. I'm bending as I come back in, reaching. Here's 2, 3, 4. Pause back there. Keep your engagement. Keep the core. Good. We're going to reverse that pedal, taking it in. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, just bend in that knee. Let it fall here. Shake out something if you need to. Good. So now we're going to take that leg long. Toe, knee, and hip are going to face the ceiling. Good. And we're going to get some internal, external work. So I'm going to bring my leg forward. I'm going to try to tap my heel in front, and it may or may not come to the floor. That's okay. That's just the direction you're going. As I lift and move through center, I'm going to turn my toe downward. Maybe I can tap the toe behind me, and then we'll come back in. So heel and toe. And 3 and 4. Hips stay even. Don't let them rock. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. From here, bring that back in. Maybe stretch something out here. We're going to go to a quad stretch real quick before we come onto the belly, before we transition to the other side. So I'm going to come up onto my forearm for this one. You can certainly do this staying down. I'm going to bend my knee, and I'm going to grab my ankle. As I do that, I'm going to squeeze that glute. I'm going to take that knee a little bit behind me. So I'm feeling that stretch right through here. I'm also trying not to hang in my torso. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, gently release, and we will come belly down. Good. So as I come belly down here, I'm just going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle a little bit just so I can get settled. Good. And we're going to do a little bit of some seal work here, or swan work rather, and some swimming. So I'm going to take my hands a little bit forward into the side of my shoulders. So I'm going to let my elbows relax down. I'm zipping up from pubic bone to behind the navel. I'm lengthening through that low body. Belly button is into the ground. Good. And maybe you lift a little bit here, and that's okay for you. Maybe you can come a little bit higher. Watch your shoulders. We don't want them to be up here, and we don't want to hang in the low back. So this right here is supported low back. This is hanging low back, a crunching low back. Be supported, and we'll lower that back down. Lengthen, 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 belly button in, find your engagement. We'll lift again, and we'll lower. Lengthen, 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 belly button in, find it again, and lower. We're gonna try one more here. Lengthen, 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 taking it up, and lowering it back down. We'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. If you are someone that needs to push back into a child's pose real quick here to make back happy, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, we're going to come into swimming a little bit. So I'm going to take my arms forward. You can have palms down or facing each other. It's personal preference today. One is not better or worse than the other. But I'm going to zip up from pubic bone behind the navel. I'm going to lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. My belly button is in. I'm going to start by lifting my right arm and left leg. And then I'm going to take that down. I'm going to lengthen, going into the opposite side. Left arm, right leg. I'm squeezing that glute of the leg that I'm lifting, and lower. One more time. Good. Right leg, left leg. Wow. Right arm, left leg. And we'll come down. Left arm, right leg. Good. If this is where you need to be, stay here. Otherwise, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Lift both upper and lower. And just start swimming here. I'm squeezing the glutes. I'm breathing. Notice how I'm not rocking side to side. I'm nice and stable. I'm relaxed through my shoulders. And you can change the tempo. You can do this really quick. It's a little bit harder to be stable and slow down. You can take it a little bit quicker and then slow it down. Good. And 3, 2, and 1. Take that down. I'm going to make a recovery pillow with my hands. And I'm going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here side to side. Okay. From here, we're going to take that side series to the other side. And so my back side does not face the camera. I'm just going to turn around here. So remember, you've got the up on the forearm option, or you can be following me down on the arm. Good. Reach your legs long. You want to find that nice stacked position. Good. And then from here, zipping up. When you're ready, we're just going to lift. Inhale, exhale, and take it down. Inhale, squeezing, and exhale. And 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Good. From here, when you're ready, we're going to bend that knee, hip, knee, and ankle, track, drive through the glute, drive through the heel, press 1, 2, belly button in, 3, 4, 5, and 6. From here, bend. We're going to go into that little bicycle. So I'm going to take it forward, taking it back, bending and coming, and 2. Watch the hips, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. Pause, reverse. Whew. At least I think I'm reversing. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you do these bicycles, I think, because it feels very similar in one direction than the other. Good. And then when you're ready, I'm just going to bring that knee in, give myself a little pat and a break here. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that leg long, turn it up. Good. Toes, knees, and hips are going to tear up. Try to avoid opening up through the hip. You still want that stack as much as possible. Good. Heel to the front, toe to the back. Internal, external rotation of the hip. And 2. And 3. And it's burning, but it's good work. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. Woo. All right, let's get that nice quad stretch in. I'm going to come up onto the forearm. I'm going to lift my torso. I'm going to lift that knee and bend it. I'm going to grab my ankle. Good. I'm going to push back. Good. Feels a lot better to me on this side than the other side. This is my tighter side. Even though I'm right-handed, my left side is the tighter side, so go figure. Good. When you're ready from here, we are going to press ourselves up to a seat. Good. Now we're going to take our legs out here, and I'm going to take my feet as wide as my mat. Now, if you're not working on a mat, think about maybe a couple inches wider than hip width apart. But we're going to come into some saw work here, or some preps to get there anyway. So think about your feet are in flexion. Good. Support the back of your knees and lift up a little bit into the hips if you need to sit a little bit higher. But we're going to find a nice tall spine, ears, shoulders, and hips. Zip up through the front body. Remember that protraction and retraction work that we did in the beginning of class? Kind of keep that in mind a little bit here. Good. Belly button is in. Also, another reminder, think about that standing forward fold when we were rolling down. Could you find that engagement as we roll forward? So as you roll forward, you're in a C curve. It's not a hip hinge. Ears and biceps are in alignment. Your gaze is between your knees. And then starting from the tailbone, you're going to roll it all the way back up to a nice tall sit. We'll do 2 more of those. Inhale, exhale, and round and reach. And rolling it back up. And we'll do 1 more. Taking it in. Exhale. Inhale. Coming all the way back up. Good. Relax for a moment. If you need to do a bouncy bounce, we'll do that. We're going to go into rotation here. So I'm going to take my arms to the side. Come just a little bit. Oh, good. Taking my arms to the side. Think about twisting the torso. Hips stay anchored. They don't move. Good. Think about your arms are like a long rod. So the back arm doesn't come forward here and do funny things. Good. So we're keeping that nice alignment. Go right into the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotation. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Come back center. Just kind of relax for a moment. Now we're going to put that fold and the twist together into the stall. So arms are going to come out. Hips stay anchored. I'm going to rotate. Now I'm going to reach and round. I'm trying to saw the pinky toe off with the pinky finger. Hips stay grounded. Don't do any pulses or anything like that. Just reach and then roll it back up. And we'll rotate and we'll reach and round. And coming back up and rotate and reach and round. And back up and rotate and reach and round. And last time through, we'll rotate, reach and round. Last one, last time, rotate, reach and round. Good. And coming back here. Just kind of settle everything down. I'm going to cross at my ankles, and I'm going to come back forward. So now I'm on all fours. Good. And we're going to come to a little bit of plank work as we make our way to the end of class. So different planks for different people. Those of you that have wrist issues and the traditional up high plank is not comfortable for you today, you can do this down on the forearms. Just make sure you're not collapsing here. So you really want to press away. Everything else is going to be the same. Knees can be lifted or grounded. If you're okay in the wrist, you'll come with me for a high plank. So I'm reading through knuckles of pinky, pointer, and thumb. One leg at a time. I'm going to take it out. Good. So you can also do this with knees here. I'm going to lift. I'm going to press back through the ankles. My belly button is in. I'm breathing and expanding here. Good. Now from here, maybe we let the right hip dip and come back center. Maybe the left hip dips and back to center. Right hip dips, back to center. Left hip dips, back to center. Drop the knees, child's pose, decompress. Good. So another little plank challenge here. Coming back forward, find the plank that's appropriate for you today. Good. So get there how you need to get there. Good. Zipping everything up and in. Good. So from here, really nice and tight. I'm going to lift a little bit that right leg into a hover and lower and left and lower and right and lower and left and lower. Drop the knees, child's pose. Good. From here, when you're ready, I'm going to come back forward. Let's do a few little sternum drops before we make our way back up to standing where we started. So these can also be done on the forearms. I'm going to progress these though. So my knees are under the hips. Good. So you're back in that tabletop, and I'm just going to let the sternum, the chest, fall to the floor. So when you do that, then your shoulders come up by the ears, something that I often talk about not doing, but in this one, it's okay. Now I'm going to press away. Another way to look at it is from this angle, the protraction and the retraction. Good. So I'm protracted here. I'm going to retract, letting the shoulders come by the ears. Protract, retract. Protract, retract. Protract, push away. Good. Now, when this becomes too easy, this is a modification, but it also makes it a little bit more challenging. You can come to the forearms. Retract, protract, retract, protract, retract, protract. When that becomes easy, you have a couple options, taking the knees behind you into a knee down plank or an up high plank, and then the same thing. Woo. Retract, protract, retract, protract, retract, protract. Good. Find a nice child's pose one more time. Sternum drops as you progress are deceptively harder than they look. I know I make it look easy sometimes, but they are not. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way to a downward facing dog. So from tabletop position, we'll take your hands a little bit more forward here, tucking the toes, lifting the knees, shifting back. Keep a little bend here for a moment. Good, and just get a nice little stretch, maybe pressing back through one heel. And then switching sides. This can also be done on forearms as well. Good, and then from here, lengthening the legs a little bit, maybe putting a little bit of a bend in the knees. That might feel a little bit better as you walk the hands back towards the feet. Good, and just find a nice little dangle. Good, we're gonna do that standing roll up now. So getting into all four corners of the feet, you really wanna press into the floor. Belly button is in, starting from the tailbone. You're gonna roll it up. Nice and controlled. Arms are just gonna do what they do. Good. Shoulders, chin, and head are last to come up. Just take a big inhale, coming up and over. Good. Bending that right elbow. Left hand is gonna come onto that elbow. Just give yourself a nice little stretch here. Good. That same arm, take it forward. So you're kind of crossing at the forearm here for a little bit of a shoulder stretch. Should feel good after that upper body work we did with the planks and the sternum drops. Good. We'll release. Big inhale and reach. Bending that left elbow. Right hand on the left elbow. Find your little tricep stretch here. And then, good. Just keeping the forearms together. Find that shoulder stretch. Good. I'm just going to do a little side view here. Big inhale and reach. Exhale, take that down. Coming up. Arms forward. Clasping hands, press away and round here. Good. Well, big inhale. Exhale, taking that down, coming all the way up. Hands will come behind. You can rest them on the hips like this. You can clasp them. You can press down. You can roll the shoulders back and lift. Find what works best for your body in this moment. Good. And then from here, carefully release. Last time, big inhale, exhale, taking it down, pressing through, taking our arms and hands down. Let's rolling the shoulders back. Good. Rolling the shoulders forward. Good. And then finally back into their pockets. Check your posture. Are your toes even? Good. So a little bit of softness in the knees, your shoulders, hips, and ankles, making any corrections there. And try to let that good posture carry you for the rest of your day, the rest of your week, the rest of your life. Thank you so, so much for practicing with me today. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.